Hello and welcome to the Black Guy Podcast. I am your host, Michelle, and I decided today to go live on a Sunday morning, an early Sunday morning, with some thoughts I've had for a while now regarding our, our community, men and women relationships, and what's going on in the world. And I don't know. This is probably my second time going live. I went live before, I think it was last year, and ended up private in that video. But this time I'm going to go live, and I hope to keep this video up just a tad bit longer than before. There's a lot that I want to say based on my observations, a lot that I want to talk about, a lot that I want to share with you. Regarding Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to add any more to that whole debacle than is already there, except to say that, um, you know, I don't know what to tell the black community, really. The black community is falling into a trap. It's falling into a trap. And the trap is racism. Whenever there's something going on in the background, and I noticed this since last year, the key points or whatever that they don't want us to see, there's always some racism going on in the background, like they in the forefront. And racism between black people and white people, always between black people and white people, never between any other race of people, but always between black people and white people, comes into the forefront. And they always manage to catch black folks off guard. Like they always manage to catch you raging, catch you saying something off kilter, to catch you, behaving like, I'm sorry to say, behave, rage, enraged, angry, uh, disrespectful. They always manage to do that. And when black folks engage in this kind of behavior, it gives the intelligence, and I say this very lightly, the intelligence, the opportunity to decide on your fate. Everything regarding race is a trap. Everything, everything, everything. Charlie Kirk, trap. I think that was an unintentional trap, but it opened a lot of eyes. The Sweeney girl, trap. All of it, trap. Because they know that black folks really have a sore spot on racism. They haven't let that go. Not that you should necessarily, but y'all are not moving circumspectly. Y'all are not moving smartly. You're supposed to be quiet and watching and observing, and you're not doing that. You're out loud and proud making. Anywho. They got you out here being angry at MAGA, being angry at everybody, and they are systemically, before there really wasn't an organized system that was oppressing you. But now that you are falling in the traps, now they can systemically, truly systemically defund your schools. I'm not saying that they will, but they can defund your HBCUs. They can defund your welfare. They can uh, defunct your houses. They can do whatever they want to do because of the way you behave, of the traps that they set for you, or the stair that you keep tripping on over and over and over again. There's some stuff going on in the background. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep this video up. This is like the first time that I have ever gone, well, not the first time, like the second time I've gone live. And I don't know if I'm going to stay live. But I want y'all to know that you need to be prepared for what's coming, because what's coming is not what you think. It's not what you think. And it didn't make any difference whether it was Kamala or Trump. It's coming despite It doesn't matter who's in office. And y'all need to know that the best course of action in life is to move quietly, to move in silence, and stop falling for the traps before you. They want you to be angry. They want you to be enraged. They want to provoke you. And you, us black folks, have to learn to withdraw from that situation. Not everybody needs to know what you're thinking. Not everybody needs to feel your ire. Not everybody needs you don't need to respond to everything. There are certain things you have to respond to, but there are certain things that you don't have to respond to. There are things that you should just ignore. Just ignore it because it's all a trap. One great big elaborate trap. They're looking for reasons. They are looking for reasons. I'm not saying this necessarily Trump myself. I'm saying there are people around him. There's a force around him. There are people who are implanted in his administration to make certain that things go in a certain direction, to plant seeds so that the fruition isn't in your benefit, isn't in the benefit of women. It's the great deceit. It's the great, sleight of hand. It's the great trickery. It's the great distraction. Get them on that race thing. Get them on race. Get you on race. And once they have you on race, they really have you. They got you galvanized because you're not paying attention to what's going on in the peripheral. And it's always the peripheral for me. It's probably why my content doesn't do as well. I'm always paying attention to the peripheral. I don't pay attention to what's going on, the big sentence, the big yelling and the screaming. It's what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, Charlie Kirk was shot. That's interesting. But what's going on behind the scenes? Why was he shot? What is the point in shooting him? You know, how is the reverberations affecting communities? How does that affect us in the long run? What does this mean? Why are they putting him on this pedestal? I personally never paid attention to Charlie Kirk. I don't even, like I've seen him, I've seen his face, I've seen Turning Point USA, but I was never galvanized or provoked into listening to any of his rhetoric. I just assumed he was another conservative pundit. And, they all have racist things to say. He's not the first person to be racist, and he probably won't be the last. I don't feel that it's necessary to put myself out there to be offended by every person who says something unpleasant about black folks. But anywho, I just wanted to jump on here real quick. I'm probably going to take this down to see what happens. And I'll be back in a bit and talk to you later.